That's defeat to Wilson. Didn't get off to the best of starts, did you? That kind of set the tone for the afternoon.
Game was lost in the first 7 minutes, wasn't it? Crazy. I'm proud of the effort we put in particularly in the second half. I thought the subs came on, but you know, we're 4-0 down at that stage. When things go against you, they go against you, and we started appallingly bad. We had a plan to deal with Jefferson Louis. Part of that plan was Jamie Hand, who's off having blood, and we're not experienced enough to fill that hole, even though we tried to from the sidelines. We're 1-0 down, and then it's a calamitous second. I mean, it's terrible goalkeeping error. So it's suddenly 2-0 down in, what is it, 6 minutes? And we just don't have the belief to even start getting the quality to get ourselves out of that. And the third goal is very poor from us. I thought there was nothing in it from that point. But again, you're 2-0 down, so it's quite easy for the away side when they're 2-0 up. And it just sums up. We missed the penalty. We've come in 3-0 down. And we made a lot of changes in the second half. And again, I call it excuses, but we've got people that work very well today. We've got a bunk that's gone in the dressing room, hence you'll see why it's taking senior players off. We work very well today. And when it's going against you, it's going against you. And you know, we didn't play well, but we continue to try and work hard. But when you know the third goal kills us, and the fourth is a foul. But I said you've got to expect these things when things aren't going your way. You know, you don't get free kicks on goalkeepers that you get every other week. And you know your goalkeepers had a very tough day today. And crazy, it wasn't as bad as the other weeks, but we know where we are. It's not about today really. It's about the season. It's been a very poor season, and you know, we've got to pick ourselves up very quickly again. As a few people have put themselves in contention, we've got to see how people are feeling and just keep going. We're not down yet. We've dropped 1 point today, but it's really irrelevant what other teams are doing. We've got to start winning, and that comes from belief. And too many people's heads go, which is slightly understandable when we're so young, when we concede the first goal. And it's hard to take, because last week we were superb at Bishop Stortford. And it's very frustrating when we can be really that good last week and this poor for 7 minutes. But when you can see two early goals like that, the game's over before it's even started, really.
Because even at 2-0, in terms of possession, you were, well, I think the majority of the game was actually in the Waterstone half. So you were probing, but all the chances were coming at the other end. And
yeah, we couldn't handle Louis. We are where we are. We're very young. We know that. We couldn't handle him. His experience told. We didn't handle it. As I said, it's bad enough handling somebody who's in the form of his life at the moment when you've got 11 players on the pitch. You know, Jamie Hand's off for blood. We don't deal with it. We've just talked about that in the dressing room. You know, he sillily got himself sent off. It's absolutely crazy. And we played quite well with 10 men, to be honest. We've scored one. I think we've passed the ball much better, but it's very hard to take. It is what it is. We're not, you know, the season is a poor one. We worked hard, we tried hard. As I said, I thought the young subs who came on put in a shift with 10 against 11. It wasn't really a 4-1 game, but they were clinical up top, and you saw experience. You had McLeish, Jefferson Louis against my back four and an 18-year-old goalkeeper who sadly didn't have a great game. So we just got to move on. We've got to go on to the next one. We've got to keep believing. We've got 4 games left, and we've just got to move on to the next game, see what happens.
A few surprises that we saw Magnus Norman in and no Charlie Granger. What happened there?
We're in a difficult position. We've heard that they're going to recall Charlie. We desperately didn't want a recall clause on Charlie. We got a phone call, my number 2 got a phone call and saying they were going to recall him, and we were going to be left with no goalkeeper because Fulham were then going to deal with Magnus. So we were left, Lee was left yesterday. I wasn't available in an impossible position that we were going to have no goalkeeper at all. So unfortunately Leighton have done that to us a few times, and said Lee was left with no choice. And when he came to me I said you've made the right choice, because we would have had no goalkeeper at all. So Magnus has come in today. We're expecting this recall for Charlie, and then he called me and said he didn't know about the recall, but this is the position. You know, we asked Leighton. I wasn't aware there was a recall clause this time around, but it's happened to us before. And I'm disappointed for Magnus because his attitude's great, but he's had a poor game, and that second goal, I mean, it's kamikaze, isn't it? So, but you know, we've gifted kamikaze individual errors today. We've missed penalties. As you say, we've had at least the same possession as them, but you saw their experience and ruthlessness, and it was a hard game. It wasn't a Bath performance, there's no doubt. So we've passed the ball at times quite well, but we've been, you know, outclassed by better players, and we've got to pick ourselves up again very quickly. And it's not easy. It keeps happening. But then explain how we can be so different today as we were last week. And we've got to go to Basingstoke, who are going for the title. We've won again today. and pick these youngsters up and go again. But we are where we are, and strangely enough, it's quite positive in the dressing room, which is, people will say, it's a crazy thing to say, we were better in the second half. But you look at the hard facts, the game was lost in the first 7 minutes. And if you do that against any side, you've lost. So, as much as we can say we were positive, even with 10 men, they're 4-0 up and taking their better players off. So what do you expect? Key moments, youngsters, we're not good enough. That's the hard fact. We're not good enough. I thought Ollie Treacher had a decent game as captain there. And we've got to go again. There's no point just putting our heads in the sand. There are lots of positive things happening at this football club that hopefully will impact on the team as time goes on. And it's very hard for me when I'm just dealing with football. I desperately want to win games, and it's very, very painful. But we've just got to pick ourselves up and go again, and until it's mathematically impossible.
You talk about positives. A couple of subs that did come on, Ngonvulu and Sharma, I thought in particular.
Yeah, I was pleased with Josh Sharma. He's been gagging to have a go. He plays in a difficult role for us, the way he plays at Oxford. But I thought he was bright. I thought Stefan did okay, and I thought Derek came on and looked okay as well. And I've said that to them in the dressing room. We'll take that little bit of positivity. The problem I've got to go with that, though, is we were 4-0 down and they were taking their key threats off. So how much positivity do you take out of that? We've got Jordan, who's not been very well. We've got Dan Bennett, who's not very well and has got an injury, so that's why we protected him. We've got Michael Richins, who was not very well. CJ Fern wasn't very well today. And I suppose I've got to give them credit that they put the shirts on and started. But we're 2-0 down in 7 minutes, and there's no excuse for that. They're individual errors. No one swept around Darryl. We didn't deal with the fact we were down to 10 men for a couple of minutes. And players have got to learn to take responsibility for that. We're telling them we pushed a player back to do it, but they didn't do it. And that's inexperience for you. But we've had a very open conversation in the dressing room. They're desperate for it to work. As I said, we had a lot of positivity last week, but that's absolutely blown out the water in the first 7 minutes today. Maybe that positivity got done in the 96th, 97th minute last week at Bishop Stortford, to be fair. We trained well this week, those who attended, and all we can do is, let's go again. It's 1 point further down. Stranger things have happened. We've got 4 games to go. And the lads, they're trying hard. I don't think it was due to a lack of effort today. You can't lack the effort on the first, second goals. Their mistakes. The third goal, by all accounts, should never be a goal. It's fouled the goalkeeper. When do you ever get that? We've missed a penalty as well. But these things don't go for you when you're down the bottom, and I've said that, you've got to expect that, whether you're playing in the Premiership or almost playing at home on your computer. When you're down the bottom, everything goes against you, and that's what's happening, and we've got to work doubly hard. But time's nearly up. But let's go. Let's get a local derby. Let's go to Basingstoke, who are fighting for a different target. They'll be massive favourites, but believe it or not, we've got a good group in there who are trying. It's not due to a lack of effort. They really tried to work hard, but individual errors have totally killed us today. Cheers. Thanks, mate. Cheers.